This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Okay, that was weird.
Well, I'm running both things, sir. It's hard to do both things at the same time.
Oh, I thought like something happened. I'm like,
No. Ivan is not here, so welcome to Chicago. Come from the 606 Media Studios. This is the TCSF podcast with Big Z, and in the house we got Stevie-B from the No Water on the Weekend podcast. We got J.C. Howard, our football analyst. Man, it's gonna be a rough one today, guys. Episode 170 is brought to you by 606 Media, true Chicago sports fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. That's right. Go on the website and go type in TCSF, and you can find us on our podcast. Search, or you can try to search True Chicago. Our promo code is TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. So whether you order our stuff, and we find some cool stuff in there, some beanies, hats, whatever, you can get 15% off your entire order. But get your shirts. Get your TCSF shirts now. It's the only way we pay for Steven's lap dances.
yeah, I mean, hey, I'm easy, so it doesn't cost a whole lot. 99 cents is a great deal because I give a 2-hour performance all the time.
What are your 99 cents from?
Oh, sorry, I was jumping ahead.
Wrong promo, sir. Wrong promo already.
Sorry.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the 99 cents, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/ True Chicago Sports Fans. Go over there and hit the click and support button, and you can subscribe for little as 99 cents. That can support his lap dances. Then sure, you can get 99 cents dances. I don't know where you're gonna get those, but it'll support them.
Very much so, yeah. But I got a job now, so
You've got a job.
got a
Ladies
job,
and gentlemen, Stevie-B has a job.
No, it's crazy. It only took 3 months.
3 months. Where are you working at now, sir?
So I'm going to be doing dental administrative work and then doing marketing as well. So some of my day will be at the desk, and some of my day will be downstairs in the dungeon where the marketing stuff is. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So, cleaning some teeth over there.
I see a lot of pictures. So.
Oh, you do all the pictures, all that stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. In this jam-packed episode, the Bears get tamed by the Lions in Detroit. The Cubs are playing with the big boys in free agency. The Sox are looking to trade the farm. The Blackhawks continue to hang in the games and be, potential spoilers. I mean, they're baby Blackhawks. They're growing. The Bulls finally get a win versus Miami at home, but Zach is checked out of the building. All that and more. But, we got to go to the meat and potatoes, and we got to talk Bears football. This is 3 and Out. Boom, baby, boom. Chicago Bears, they were winning most of this game. 90% of this game, percentages going into the last 4 minutes, 96% winning possibility. They're like, there's no way the Bears should lose this game. Ladies and gentlemen, they lost 31-26.
Yeah, they did. And I was, again, last week, if you were listening to the episode, I had predicted that they were going to do the upset. So I felt pretty good. And I felt really confident that I was going to be right again on True Chicago Sports for another time. But I shot myself in the foot, and I called it early in the group chat. So, yeah.
Premature, sir. That must be your thing. Premature. We had a lot of great play by a lot of our players. We had Justin Fields with what do you have? 160 yards, 169 yards with 1 touchdown, 16 for 23. He rushed for 104 yards. DJ Moore with almost 100 yards and a touchdown. We had a pretty good game. I wish Foreman would have been more of a factor, but I know he's playing hurt. Roschon Johnson with 30 yards, Foreman with 14, Khalil Herbert with 35. Essentially, it was the Justin Fields show. We came in hot. We scored right away. And really, I remember falling asleep. I remember falling asleep midway through second quarter, waking up mid third quarter, and I'm like, all right, it's in the bag. I'm just gonna, play on my phone and just not pay attention as much. But Steven, what you think about this game?
Well, again, you were right. We scored right away, right? But I'm thinking of the game overall, right, in a general, because we lost. Right, we have no division wins, no back-to-back wins. Okay,
nope, right.
You can't win with any of these quarterbacks. Well, Justin Fields did well, but again, we still have a hard time getting in the end zone. We're kicking field goals when we should be just taking the risk. The defense gave up in the last fourth quarter, the last 4 minutes, I should say.
Yeah, the last 4 minutes.
Touchdowns win, and fourth and inches. Just go with it. You got nothing to lose at this point.
No,
right?
No.
You play and be aggressive and be gritty, and you got nothing to lose. If you lose every game because you're trying too hard or you're giving all your effort, that's great. But do the fourth and inches instead of doing a quarterback sneak and 4th and 3, right? So I just overall think it was a terrible loss. I think in my eyes, the Denver one hurts more than this one because that one we gave up so many points real fast versus but I mean, they still hurt. I think there's a lot of work to be done, and I think it's all coaching at this point. JC, what do you think, man?
Yeah, so for me, it's the fact that like I said, they crumbled in that fourth quarter. Whether it be conservative play calling, whether it be you can't put it on Justin Fields. I mean, Justin Fields came out and played amazing. To me, you keep showing me that, and like I said, I'm fine with, hey, we're not looking at a quarterback next year. We're going to give Justin one more year to go out and give it a shot. Montez Sweat, first sack of the season.
Yes, that was great.
He had a huge smile on his face and was cheering it up and having a good time. 4 turnovers.
Thank you.
And there is a statistic came out through Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN. Let me pull it up here right quick.
I love where you're going with this because I saw this stat. And I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to write it down.
Since 1932, no NFL team with a +3 turnover margin and a 40-minute time of possession has ever lost a game.
Yeah.
We're number one.
48-0. We are the one team to be 48-1. And again, we had 40 minutes and 24 seconds of possession. The Lions had 19 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I decided to open Prosecco because I'm cheersing to this loss, man. We can't go anywhere else, but we're hit more rock bottom.
I got some iced tea.
So cheers to popping bottles and keep losing,
Well, I will say this. I mean, every week on Monday, I wait for that ESPN update of, the what is the pick status for the upcoming NFL draft.
Right.
And I think we're 1-4.
1-4 now. We were 1-5, but we should be tied for fourth. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to thank the New York Giants for getting a win this week, putting us back at 4. But I mean, to me, again, if Justin Fields keeps showing what he's showing and he's doing as well as he's doing, you're looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. possibly at number 1, and then number 4, maybe Olafashanu doesn't fall to us at number 4, but then Joe Alt at left tackle, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but we did pull Braxton Jones at some point during the game, and he was over there slamming his helmet on the sideline, and I don't know why he got pulled, but then later on in the third quarter he was back in again. So I think it's time we upgrade that left tackle position as well. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. Like I said, go get that stud wide receiver, put him next to DJ Moore. That way you have possibly that Roddy White and Julio Jones tandem at wide receiver, where Justin Fields has no excuses. You have Cole Kmet at tight end.
Right.
Maybe you have an excuse with the running game. Herbert may not, and then Foreman, he's on a 1-year deal. So again, you might have an excuse a little bit at the running game, but again, you put the weapons around Justin Fields next year, and excuse time is over.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
I am tired of the little brother. I do not want the little brothers of St. Brown. Getting little brothers all the time. We want the big brothers, right? What was another brother that we had on the team, but the big brother was always better?
Well, we had Equanimous St. Brown, which is one brother.
Right.
Now we have, is it Noah Sewell, the linebacker, who is Penny Sewell's younger brother.
Right.
And we have another group of, because there was something on Twitter that there were 3 brothers playing in the Lions versus Bears game.
Right. Yeah.
Who's the last one,
I don't want
Steven?
the younger brothers. I want the older brothers. I want the other St. Brown.
Yeah,
And how ironic is it that Montgomery is the one that scores the touchdown on us? How ironic and convenient. Well, he's great, but for him to come back and run it in and just stick it to us, it's like, you know what? I get it. And I'm wearing black all day, like today, because I'm mourning.
You're mourning. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mourning for many reasons with the Bulls too. But
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit.
yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, I'm mourning
I
today.
agree with you. I think as far as the draft, you do get the best player, best game changer available, and right now that is going to be at wide receiver. And with the second pick, you secure your offensive line. Boom. Right now, that is top needs 1 and 2. And then after that,
the
go
other
ahead.
name I've seen is, and this will be a fun one, and I would absolutely have fun with it, is Kool-Aid McKinsey at cornerback would be like the third name that I've seen kind of floated around. If we're moving on from Jalen Johnson, he would be, the replacement there.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Jalen drop a pick 6?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yep,
Literally
Jalen did.
hit him
Yeah,
right.
I think he dropped 2, maybe, possibly.
He broke up another one, but the other one literally was in his hands, and he could have just took off and scored. You had that. You also had the Tyler Scott deep ball in the last possession for the Bears, where I think they were down. I forgot. It was 39, I believe. And instead of running the ball for the third time and not moving anywhere, they went for the deep shot. And Tyler Scott ran and then paused and then seen the ball coming at him. He's like, oh, shit, it's for me. And then it fell off his fingertips. If he catches that ball, he goes for 6. And, this is all mute. We are going to be talking about a Bears win. And I just think it's like you did everything to win the game until the last 4 minutes of the game, where you literally did everything to lose the game. The defense did not hold up very well. I think they scored in 96 seconds, the first touchdown.
He was wide open too.
Oh yeah, definitely
wide
wide
open.
open. Yeah, because they were playing.
Threw it and put it in there. Yeah.
They were playing soft cover. Again, playing to lose. Just prevent defense instead of like you've literally have been shutting down Goff the entire time. And just did not. Well, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because you did everything right in this game. Takeaways. Your offense played well. We ran Justin Fields. He rolled out. Everything we asked for about the Chicago Bears, they were doing it until the end. And I really think it falls down to play calling and not being aggressive. One, when it's 4th and 1, like you were talking about, Steven. Be aggressive. It's the 3 and 7. It's
right.
You can only win from this point.
One of the biggest problem with the Bears, and it's been this way for, as long as I've been alive, bend but don't break, bend but don't break.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm sorry, we're up by 20. Pin your ears back and go get fucker. Just go get them.
Yeah.
Like, just, again, we play this bend but don't break, bend but don't break. And it's one of those where, that was one of the things I loved about the defensive coordinator we had, who went on to be the Broncos head coach. Can't think of his name. But
Vic Fangio.
he was running
Vic
the
Fangio.
3-4. I'm sorry?
Vic Fangio.
Yes. Fangio, he dialed it up. He wasn't messing around. His defenses were always ready to go. And it's one of those where, like I said, you look at teams like San Francisco, you look at some of these other teams, as soon as they're up by 20, dude, we're coming after you, and we're not going to let up.
Well, now he's in Miami, and they put a 70 spot on Denver, his old team.
Yep.
He's like, oh no, we're gonna make an example of this team, and they just didn't give a fuck. So yeah, you do need a defensive coordinator who is out for blood the entire game. I don't care about you got to be sportsmanship. No, bro. When the clock is ticking, I'm here to kill you. As soon as it's a 0, we can be friends. I'm here to win a game. It's just simple as that, and the Bears do not do that, and it's frustrating to go down this weekly to be like, all right, they're not doing this right, they're not doing this right. Now you did everything right, and yet you shoot yourself in the foot twice at the end of the game. So we covered first and second down with my points there. What can you say about the defense at the end of the game? Because this is we were praising the defense being so good under Eberflus because he's a defensive coordinator. He's a really good one, but when it counted, he didn't call the right play. So what do we assess about that?
Go ahead, JC.
Again, it's falling back on that bend but don't break attitude. Not that you necessarily have to worry about the Lions being a long ball team, but Jamison Williams, he has the speed to do that. And like I said, he just happened to get behind the defense. But how many years have we watched? Cooper Kupp did it to us last year with 30, 40-yard touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, maybe it's Eddie Jackson, maybe it's miscommunication on the back end. I don't know what it is, but every year there seems to be like a couple 30, 40-yard touchdowns where it's just like the guy is wide open. There's not a single player in sight. And you're just like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, I just we had a couple great weeks where we were the defense again, like Jose said, that was great. But then it's like now, who you add Sweat, right? You have Jalen Johnson who wants to get more money, who he makes mistakes, and you can't. All these things are within the players, but again, play calling. It's like when you're there, I don't know. It's just frustrating because it's like when one side does well, the other one always messes up somehow. If the defense shows up, the offense isn't there, and then if the offense is there, defense doesn't show up. And I guess that's been the whole season, or both of them don't show up if you play the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think what also hurt us was I think Foreman rolled his ankle or had some sort of ankle injury, and that kind of stifled him at the end of the game. And unfortunately, like Roshan has kind of the similar running style where it's downhill, take on a person, but like Herbert, I kept watching him put Herbert in, and it's like he's dancing around a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Not that downhill take on a guy and just
run him over.
Wood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those. Again, losing Foreman, I think hurt a little bit as well.
Right.
Definitely agree with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. And then someone that throws an offensive things, but more defensive everything. It was just really sad to see it fall apart in the 4 minutes because they played great the whole 3 quarters. So
it sounds just like the other teams in our city that don't play until the final whistle, until the final inning.
It's slow start. That's what it is. It's a slow start. And it's like you got to come out like aggressive and guns blazing.
Yeah.
Because you're playing for yourself at the end of this right now, for yourself.
Right. Some of these guys are playing for jobs. Right.
Like you want to showcase how good you are and why you deserve to be in the NFL because someone else could always take your place. Definitely. So you got to play with urgency here. And I don't see any urgency in those last 4 minutes. It's like they're gassed, but the defense should be gassed because the Bears had most possession on offense.
Now here's the problem that the Bears are not. They're averaging 23 points this season. That is literally not enough. Not enough to win games against the big boys, or especially in the division. Most of these teams are scoring 30 and above, and that's where we need to be. We played a great game possession wise. We did it pretty good on offense. Luke Getsy changed the offense to suit the talent that he had on the field for once. And that's why you've seen the time of possession. You've seen Justin be able to do his thing with no rust. But 23 points, and I know 4 games because of Bajent that brings it down, but 23 points is not enough to win football games in NFL. Maybe in high school, maybe in college.
Sure.
But the NFL, it's a high-scoring league, and this is why we got Justin Fields, and we got DJ Moore, and we signed Komet, and we brought in Foreman. Like, we brought in these weapons. It's just we're not getting into the end zone. It's so frustrating.
Go ahead, JC.
So to me, you partially look at that, and I mean, we had a lot of run attempts. I mean, we had 46 run attempts. That's with Justin Fields, Khalil Herbert, Deonta Foreman, and Roschon Johnson. Fields having 18 carries himself. But then you literally just go look at the box score on the receiving side, and it's DJ Moore and only DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. And again, this comes back to Justin Fields of, can this guy get to his second and third reads? Like, what happened to Darnell Mooney?
Yeah.
He's been absolutely...
He missed the pass. Well, like, he dropped it, but it was overthrown. But,
But again, it's, he's getting maybe 3 catches a game, 2 catches a game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be... And Mooney is no scrub. I mean, he's a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 on a football team. But and he's a high wide receiver 2, in my opinion. You go look at some of these other NFL teams and you look at their wide receiver 2s, and as far as I'm concerned, Mooney's better than most of the other team's wide receiver 2s. So you sit there and go, where's the disconnect? Why is this guy only getting 1 catch, 2 catches a game? It's again, like, I understand Fields and DJ Moore have a great, tandem going on, but you got to move on from, and that's one thing you saw from like Bajent is, he's getting to Cole Kmet, he's getting to all these other guys, and some like Cole Kmet had 12 catches in the first half. A couple games ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those where it's just like, I know Fields and DJ Moore have a great tandem going on, but we got to find some more production from guys other than just DJ Moore.
That's the fact. What you have to do is you have to pepper everybody else, because what that's going to do, it's going to open the big play for DJ Moore, who that's what he wants. He wants the big play. He wants to be flashy and so forth. And that's great. But it allows Mooney and Komet and Herbert maybe to get some catches. Maybe Tyler Scott, you can develop him. He had 1 catch for 4 yards. I mean, he dropped the big one, I get that, but Cole Kmet 3 for 20, Mooney 1 for 24. Like, this is, you're not reading the offense, and this is what we've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, is that he locks into his all right, cool.
There's only one option.
DJ Moore's not open. I'm running. And at least with Bajent, he's going through his reads. He's like, boom, Mooney. Nope. All right. Oh, nope. Come at, here you go. Let's get rid of the ball and let's move the chains. And that's kind of what I want. I want urgency with coming out of my quarterback, that I'm going to read this defense really quick, make my adjustments. Boom. Let me throw the ball and let's move these chains. All right. Let's give it to the running game now. I need wins. I don't need DJ Moore to have 200 yards receiving and then we lose 40-13. That makes no sense.
I would like that because I have him in my fantasy league, but but no, I agree with you 100%. Like, it's just, and then Fields is doing the same thing, holding the ball way too long, and it's just there's things with Tyson that does, and then Justin does, and it's like if you put both of them together,
you merged them, we had a great quarterback.
Merge them together, you're gonna have a great quarterback, and it's just Tyson reads it, gives everyone the ball. Justin doesn't, and he holds the ball too long. And then if he doesn't see an open thing because he can't read 1, 2, 3, where that's right, no one gets the ball, and then he runs, and then you have the running game, and then you stop from doing that, and then you punt, and then or you get close because you get a couple good plays. I think half of it was because of interceptions. Why we even scored that many things, like because we got 4 picks, we got close enough to be in an area where we're in the red zone, or else it would just be slow and we wouldn't have scored that much, in my opinion.
Yeah, as you guys were saying, if we could put Bajent and Fields together, do you know who you get?
Who do we get?
CJ Stroud.
Uh-oh.
Also on my fantasy team, and I'm winning. But he had 3 interceptions this week.
And
so
what did the Bears do? We had the chance to take CJ Stroud. No, we're going to stick with Justin Fields.
No, you're right.
And you sit there and you look. Let's go over to the box score for the Texans, and let's take a look at Tank
He had
Dell.
3 touchdowns. I believe he had 200 and something passing yards. No, 300.
336 passing yards,
Yep.
27 completions.
3 interceptions.
Tank Dell, 8 receptions, 149 yards.
Yep.
Nico Collins, 7 receptions, 65 yards. Robert Woods, 5 receptions, 44 yards. And then a bunch of 2 and 1 reception guys. But that's your 3 main wide receivers on your team just getting peppered. Meanwhile, you go look at the Bears, and it's DJ Moore and only DJ Moore.
Right.
So again, you look at CJ Stroud. He's making it through his progressions. He's making the reads. I think he has maybe 3 or 4 interceptions at the most in this season. And I was listening to Sirius XM NFL radio today, and a lot of these analysts are already saying CJ is pretty much a lock for offensive rookie of the year.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they're saying he could very potentially be MVP of the year, because you're taking a Texans who were dead last in the league last year, or second in the league last year in losses. They had the number 2 or number 1 pick, and here now they're in contention for possibly the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and again, here we are. The Bears passed.
Yeah.
The Bears
It's usually
easily.
what happens all the time. We could have had Mahomes, but we got Trubisky. That's how it is. That's how it is to be a Bears fan, unfortunately. And it's we always think we want the prettiest girl, but there's always something better that we always pass up on. We don't go for the smart, successful one. We go for the one that's, does everything for the moment. I don't know.
It's all makeup. It's all makeup. It's all makeup on a pig.
Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, last 3 games, 470 yards, 356 yards, 336. He's got 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in those 3 games. I will take those stats.
Yeah, I've been happy with him. That's why I'm first in my fantasy league, but I might lose this week. But again, it's just he's a stud. You look at also the Vikings quarterback, and he also was doing well. And then you have the Packers beating the Chargers and Jordan Love being successful in that. And it's we lost to the Chargers. It's just other teams beat the teams we can't even beat. We can't even win.
Well, I mean, Jordan Love has not been the
no, he hasn't.
The standout that I think the Packers were hoping for. But
you can't strike gold 3 times. Then that's a collusion in my eyes.
But again, it brings up a team that's not inept. Hey, we're gonna go draft these quarterbacks. We're gonna sit them behind a Hall of Famer. Get them 3 years of experience. Let them learn defenses. Let them progress. Work on their drops. Work on their footwork. And here the Bears are no, we're just gonna throw you out there and get you murdered every day. And you're
shell shock.
You're gonna be washed and shell shocked, Big Z said. And then you're gonna be useless to us. And then we're gonna go find another quarterback. We're going to go switch up the offensive coordinator on you 3 times. We're going to go get a GM. And again, it's the perpetual Bears.
Yeah, we only focus on defense and the 85 Bears. We don't worry about the offense, apparently.
No.
We live in tradition, and we don't even look in the future about anything.
No, this organization needs to be clean from top to bottom.
Yeah.
There was a Twitter article from a former Bears player that basically said, we just live off of the 85 Bears.
Yep, Bennett. And he posted that perfectly on that, because it is true. We only focus on the 85 Bears in the past and only defense. Well, the NFL is an offensive league now. You got to go with the change, right? Music from the 50s and the 40s are still great, but you got to listen to what's current now. So
Yeah. All right, let's
it's
punt
rough.
it. Let's punt it out of this segment. And what can we expect against the Vikings? We've been wrong for 3 weeks now. But can we get a win against the Vikings, being this close to beating the Lions?
I don't know. I'm like the girl with Bobby Boucher over here. My calls haven't been that far off. By what 6 points this week, and last week I think I was off by like 2 or 3. But I'm gonna keep sending it to you. I don't know how I'm getting even this close to the numbers, but I might have to start hitting up Rivers sports bet.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's do it. I've been on a losing streak. It's been bad. I stopped. I had to stop.
Yep, my account's at 0 right now, so not till December 1st.
Well, like I said, all right. So Vikings with Josh Dobbs. I mean, when is Justin Jefferson coming back?
They haven't said.
Is he in the 21? Is he in the 21-day window?
No, but the ironic part, maybe he might come back for the Bears, and that's what's gonna happen. I feel, because that always happens.
Well, like I said, I want to say he's in the 21-day window where they have to activate him or basically put him aside for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, they're on what, two or 4 game win streak? What are they on now?
No, they just lost to the Broncos by 1 point. That was a great game.
It was.
Yeah, it was a great
Yeah,
game.
but prior to that, they were on a little win streak.
Correct.
I believe.
Right, and I believe they're 6-5 now.
Even without their best wide receiver.
Right.
So, they're finally getting Alexander Madison going.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he had 75 rushing yards against Denver. So,
I mean, essentially, they're playing for a wild card spot because the Lions are going to wrap up the North. You got the West with the Niners and Seahawks. They're 1 game apart, and then the NFC South with what they are, hot trash up and down. They're playing for a wild card spot. So, again, this is Dobbs, who's played 7 or 8 years in the league, seven different teams, I believe, 3 this year. He's a rocket scientist or astrophysicist, whatever he may be. Yeah, rocket man.
He's probably good at numbers. So reading defenses shouldn't be an issue because he could count.
He can count.
Someone we have.
He can count.
I mean, if he wants to talk about the multiverse and quantum mania and stuff like that, I'm always able to talk about those scientific discoveries. So.
Yeah, he did okay. 20 for 32 to 21 with 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Again, he's throwing the Madsen, Chandler, and
Allen.
I'm sorry, it's Hawkinson, Oliver, and Addison. And Chandler, yeah, those are his people that he's throwing to. So I mean, he doesn't have the best wide receiving room, but at the same time, his job is just to be a backup, get it in, get it out, not to lose the game for them. So I do think it'll be a close game
for them too. So like you said,
yeah, I think this will be a close game.
Yeah, to me, like I feel like this definitely could be the upset Steven was hoping for
this week.
I changed my mind. It's gonna be Vikings. I want a good team. I want to beat like a first place team. I don't want to. Well, they're still playing or fighting for the wild card. But yeah, if you want, do you want me to say my prediction?
Let's go.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna go Vikings this one. I think we're gonna get outshot and with the quarterback situation. So I'm gonna say Vikings. I want to say maybe 36.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't trust the defense right now, and unless they make corrections. But Bears probably 27. I'm gonna go with that.
Wow.
So lose by 10 or 9.
Jason.
And I can't count, so I guess I can't be a quarterback. JC, what about you, man?
I'm actually gonna go Bears upset here. I
if you
don't
get
know
this
why.
upset, I'm gonna be pretty like a little peeved.
I'm gonna go Bears upset here. You know what? Yes, Josh Dobbs is the Rocket Man, but you know what? I don't see it. I mean, if Justin Jefferson comes back and gets put back into the roster, maybe. But like I said, Bears defense has, other than the fourth quarter debacle, they've been playing stronger. Sweat got his first sack.
I was happy about that.
Again, I'm gonna go Bears. Bears 27, Vikings 21.
Okay. I am going to do this. If the Bears keep on losing, I'm going to keep buying Prosecco and popping bottles because we're going to get a good draft pick, I guess, and I'm looking forward to next year. So.
Yeah, that is the one thing. Like, as long as the Bears keep losing, it's all money in the bank, and it's like we just keep getting that draft pick where it's like,
I don't want to be like the Browns. I don't want to be like that. Where you get the first round pick and then the quarterback's a bust, and then you have to start all over again, and then you keep getting close and you build around, and then you look at Baker Mayfield.
We're pretty close, dude. They've never won a championship, but it's been almost 40 years for ours. So like, let's not throw stones at glass houses, brother. They have a pretty good defense over there.
I don't even see a house at this point. I just see the layout of the blueprints and just waiting for something to happen.
It's a shed from the pallets that we steal from Costco.
It's from IKEA. That's what we got.
JC's
We don't even
job.
have we have a little plastic house, a shed. We don't even have something to build off of. It's just memories from '85 and like defensive stuff in there. I don't know.
Again, we've all seen the Cleveland jersey where it's like 30 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The Bears are right there with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're not much further off.
No.
And unfortunately, I my friend group, I've said in group text for years, I'm like, I don't give a shit that we have Trubisky. Draft another quarterback.
Yes.
I don't care that we have Fields. Draft another quarterback.
Yep.
Right.
If San Francisco can hit Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Just throw a fourth, throw a fifth, find somebody that, has played in, college for 4 or 5 years, redshirted a year and played, for 4 years as a starter. And like, the problem nowadays, and we're seeing it across the league, is all this RPO stuff that's being run in college
doesn't work.
It doesn't translate to the NFL, where the defensive schemes are way too good for this RPO crap.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is it works because, for Alabama's and Georgia's and, some of these teams where they have, these players that roll in and they roll out in 3 years, the RPO works for them because it's the easiest way to get them up to speed, for guys that are only going to be there for 3 years. Not only that, you're talking these teams are the top tier talents,
right?
That constantly get, the number one prospect of, from high schools. And again, but once they get to the NFL, all these guys are number one prospects.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys are
Right.
the elite of the elite. And again, it's, I've said it multiple times, the Washington Commanders, they drafted RG3. What did they do? They went and drafted Kirk Cousins the same damn draft.
Yep.
And it paid dividends then for them for, 3 or 4 years with RG3 being hurt all the time. And, but to me, I'm not against it if the Bears do something like that. Again, especially this draft, you got 7-8 quarterbacks that are coming out. And it's, like I said, if you could find a guy in the 3rd round or the 4th round, whether it be a JJ McCarthy or, one of these guys, Penix or, whoever, like I said, there's about 7 or 8 quarterbacks that are coming out this year. Go get me one. Yeah. I understand Bajan has shown like, he needs more progression. He needs more time, but again, we're at that point. If Justin Fields doesn't show something that, we need somebody developing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You just got to keep developing quarterbacks, and that's what great organizations do. They keep drafting quarterbacks until one hits, and and in the meantime, if we can have a guy be productive, or if we need to go in free agency and put a Band-Aid over this until the next kid comes up, and that's what it is. We haven't lucked into having Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers and then 30, 25 years of great quarterbacks. We don't have that. So, you've got to do what JC says. So, Bears hire him. I think it's going to be 27-24 Bears with the upset with a field goal at the end. They are playing in Minnesota, so it's a dome, so perfect conditions for a game. So I think the Bears come up with the upset. So maybe I'll break my rule and put some money in my account.
Break that rule. We don't have rules.
No rules. All right, let's take a quick break. And we'll be back with The Loop after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to No War on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots, so let's kick it back over to Big Z.
All right. Thank you. Well, you are listening to the True Chicago Sports Fan podcast with Big Z, and we got Batista in the house, Stevie-B.
Stevie-B.
That's right. We got JC Howard, our football and sports guru. You know what? It's time to go around the loop and talk some sports that are not the Bears. And let me just hit the cue music, and then we'll go from there.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start with the Chicago Bulls. Let's start there. Let's start there with the Chicago Bulls with a current victory over the Miami Heat. What was that, Saturday? They came from behind. They were down 20-1, 23 or 24-1 at one point.
Yep.
And came back in the fourth quarter to win the game. I wish I would have bet that game, would have won a lot of money, but I didn't because I don't trust the Bulls at all. They're playing again against Miami right now. They're down 5 points, 51-46 in the second quarter. So they're hanging in there with the team. So do we have a problem with Zach Lavine? Do we have a problem with coaching, with culture, with the whole organization? What's the issue here, Stevie-B?
Yeah. The other day he wore an LA hat. So it kind of like, yes, I think that's a little jab because he's wearing an LA hat and maybe he wants to go to the Lakers, maybe the Clippers. I know there's other teams that are interested in him. And then I sent you guys an article in the group message that he pushed the PR lady, didn't celebrate with the team, and walked out after the win on Saturday night at the United Center against the Miami Heat. If that doesn't show you that you're checked out and you don't want to be a part of the team and you're scoring 14 points a game and you missing shots, missing threes, not passing the ball to someone's open, you're being a little selfish. Again, this year, in the matter of games, he's scoring 61 or he's scoring 14 or 17 points. I don't see consistently scoring 23, 25 equally like how Saturday was, where Vooch, DeMar, and himself were all in the 20s. Kobe White only had 4 to 6 points. These are the things where it's like you're not distributing. Yes, they're the big three, but everyone should be present. Everyone should be able to touch the ball and score. I mean, even if Kobe was lights out the other day, have him touch the ball. If he's got the hot hand, keep him going. Don't stop his momentum. He's passing it to Vooch, like all these great things. And again, when I told you guys when I was at the United Center, who's in the first pose? DeMar. Who's behind him? Lavine.
Yeah.
You know, it's these things where it's like, this guy's been here for 7 years. Okay, we got the trade from him to trade Jimmy to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's gone to the finals 2 times, won MVP. And what has Lavine done? Except besides going to Team USA. So I don't know. I think, you know, he's a great guy, stand-up guy, but it's like he's checked out. He wants to move on. And I think the Bulls are going to do something, and he's giving me mixed signals.
Yeah, I mean, he was touted and promoted and put in a position to be the 1A guy. Pretty much saying, this is your team. You know, you came back from the knee injury. It is your time to shine. Then you bring in DeMar, and DeMar comes in his first year and takes all the credit for being, you know, king of the fourth and being consistent. And then, you know, the nagging injury starting to show up for Zach, right? Zach has started, you know, to a slow start this season. He is, 14 games, averaging 21.9 games, 43% shooting, and 34% from 3. So he's definitely struggling. And the only reason it's 21.9 is because he had that 50-burger game.
61. That's what it was.
Yeah, 61 game. That's the only reason it's that high. He is
it's
again.
So frustrating.
It is.
It really is. Now I feel like a White Sox fan. Like this is frustrating to me.
It's very frustrating. You have a big man that you don't use in Vooch.
No,
you got Andre Drummond.
He has a hard time playing defense, and then that was a thing about the other day with the Magic. He leaned in. It was isolated 1-on-1. The guy ran past him, got a foul, and he got the and one. So he shot 2 free throws. There you go, 3 points right there. And
that's coaching. That's coaching. If you know he's a defensive liability, why isn't Drummond out there? Drummond's way better defensively. Or put Patrick Williams, who can move his feet.
I'd rather have Drummond. I don't trust Patrick.
Agreed. But I still
think he's going to shoot the ball.
I still think Patrick can move his feet a lot faster than Vooch and can cover more space. So again, this goes back to coaching. And you know, I've said it since Billy's been here, and Billy's been, you know, signed here and even extended. Is that he is a young players coach. You put him with a bunch of college players that you draft, he can develop them, get his system running. But when you have egos like Lavine and Kobe and DeMar, like you have a bunch of
really
egos
all of a sudden.
Yeah, and now you don't have the continuity in the locker room because you don't know who's the alpha, and if there's no alpha, guess what? You're not going to win games. You need a Kobe Bryant. You need a Michael Jordan. You need a LeBron James. You need to have an alpha in the locker room. There has to be a pecking order. And right now, what we don't have is a pecking order. It's like, oh, you shoot. No, you shoot. You shoot. And the first quarter that they're down 20 points again, every time in the first quarter is because they're scared to shoot. They're just scared to shoot. It's like, bro, just play your game. Just play your game. We don't have a true point guard. We don't have a true center. We literally have like 7 guards on this team, and it's just a redundancy of the same talent. And this is why we cannot keep up with the rest of the NBA. Right now, I don't even, what does Zach have? Can't even see. But we have a problem with rebounding. We have a problem with points in the paint, with turnovers.
Everyone's just looking at the ball.
Yeah.
As it goes.
If Zach gets it, it's over.
That's something you're taught in grade school.
Oh God. Yeah, it's over. Now we got Zach.
And the only thing that I could say, about Saturday was when someone shot the ball and Caruso was there, grabbed it, and then dunked it in. Like that's how you play. Like,
the putback.
Don't watch the ball while it's going up. Be ready. Be aggressive. Box out.
There's no reason that your point guard or shooting guard, whatever Caruso plays, because he plays everything. There's no reason that he should have more rebounds than your big guys.
Right.
No
Absolutely.
reason at all. Like you've got a foot of advantage of height. You should be getting more rebounds. Speaking of Lavine, so we got the trade rumors, right, as Steven alluded to, but we also have this incident where he's walking off the court on Saturday night, and you see the PR lady grab his arm and said, "Hey, I got an interview. You know, you're going to be on whatever NBC Sports or whoever it was for." And he just literally flung her off and kept walking. And he was a sourpuss while all the rest of the Bulls shook hands with the rest of the Heat players and each other and so forth in celebration.
But it's you won. You didn't lose. That's the issue. Like, you're not a teammate. And if I was on the team, I would be like, dude, why'd you leave? Do you not want to be here? Like, that shows like you don't care. And we all want to win and we care. You want to be here.
But again,
it's like when you're at work and you don't want to be there because you want a paycheck and you're not happy and you're not doing your job. And everyone else has to pick up the slack.
He has a paycheck. I'm sorry. Like,
it's a guaranteed paycheck. That's the problem.
You know, again, as for, you know, shaking off a reporter, gave some lame excuse of it was a miscommunication.
Yeah.
There was no miscommunication. She grabbed you by the arm, said, hey, you know, we have an interview. Basically, you know, I don't know what happened during the game, but again, it's down to the wire. He's checked out. He clearly wants out. And frankly, if I'm to the Bulls, I'm not sending him to a good team. I'm not sending you to a contender. You know what? You have soured this relationship, you know, basically, and, you know, read something on Twitter that Billy Donovan and, you know, AK were not happy with how he dealt with the reporter after the win. To me, again, you know, maybe one of the good teams is given the best package, but I'm sorry, like, I have no qualm sending you to a horrible team, you know, because of your attitude right now.
Yeah,
like, I don't owe you anything.
No,
I don't owe you
right?
any favors. Right. I signed you to a contract, which, you know, at the time when he signed with the Bulls, he was coming off what was an ACL, originally.
Yep.
So I mean, like, we took a chance on you that, you know, and he was known more as a high flying dunker.
He doesn't dunk anymore.
That all happened. And again, like, we gave you the opportunity to come in, be the 1A. And then you got upshown by DeMar DeRozan, and now you're sitting here being a sourpuss. You know, get over yourself. You know, again, I wish we had a Kobe Bryant on this team that could rally.
We got a Kobe
troops.
White.
That's the wish equivalent.
I'll tell you what. I saw the clip of, like, his slam dunk. I mean, that was a pretty nice dunk.
That was gnarly.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't see much else from you, you know.
He's having a good game right now, but he's very wishy-washy. He plays well at home, and then he'll go on the road and play bad, and then it carries over to the first home game, which was this Saturday, and I don't think he had more than 4 points or something. So go ahead.
I think if you go back and you watch, like, when the Bulls originally had DeRozan, Lonzo, and Lavine, Lonzo was the one that really, you know, was able to make the passes,
distribute,
and make sure that these guys were, like, they were the ones taking the shots, right? And like I said, without a true point guard, which, you know, I'm sorry, we've tried this experiment with Kobe year after year after year, and it's one of those, like, I know maybe the NBA draft doesn't fall where, you know, we're looking at the best point guards coming out, you know, but again, with Lonzo hurt, it's just, again, you're sitting there looking at Kobe going, we've tried this experiment 2 or 3 years in a row.
Right.
We got to find somebody else. And, you know, I know Caruso is supposed to be, you know, the backup or whatever, but he's Mr. Glass. I mean, the guy constantly, you know, whether it be a knee, an ankle, a shoulder, an elbow, it's always something.
Right.
And, you know, you're sitting here hearing, like, I was reading something earlier, that the trades look like there's more interest in Caruso and Pat Williams than there is in Zach LaVine,
because and money.
Maybe that's because Zach LaVine has made his comments known of, like, this is where I want to go, so other teams are, you know, shying off. But again, to me, if I'm the Bulls, I'm letting it be known, hey, I don't care where we send him. Send me your best offers. And like I said, you know, we had this conversation last week. I don't want picks in 2029.
Right.
Get me the picks as quickly as possible. And if that is a garbage team, or, you know, if we need to make a 3-team trade where, you know, maybe he does end up in LA, but I'm getting picks from, you know, Orlando or the Pelicans or, you know, some other team that is before 2029, that's what I'm looking for. Because, you know,
what is the point of the Windy City Bulls? Like, I want to know that. Like, can't we find someone off that to, like, I don't get it. What's the point of the Windy City Bulls if you're going to have people play in that like D League, and then not even try to bring them up if they're playing really well.
Oh, they bring him up and down. He's called Jalen Terry, and then when they bring him up, he doesn't play on the bench. He doesn't play. He just sits on the bench, and then the next week they send him down. Go get some playing time, and then bring him back up and don't play him. They don't know how to develop.
Point.
They don't know how to develop talent. It's as simple as that. Larry Marketing, Jimmy Butler developed himself. Who else do we got right now? Patrick Williams not developed. Kobe White really not fully developed.
Doug McDermott is doing really well with the San Antonio Spurs. We had him.
Yeah,
I just look at these players that we drafted, and then they go and they're
Tyson Chandler,
average or above average players.
Yeah, Tyson Chandler went on to win championships. Bobby Portis won a championship. Larry Marketing, he's a star. Him and KD were going at it last night. Great game. I mean, you do have a lot of talent that you can identify, but you're not translating that to the development. And so you really got to take a step back and analyze everything that you're doing from that point forward, from the draft to when they come in and play in a summer league. What are we doing to develop these players? What are we doing to develop their mind, body, and soul? We've got to invest in this because you're putting money to sign these players over a long period of time. And yes, the rookie contracts are small or smaller than any other sport. But we're looking at, are you developing all that you can and maximize your bang for the buck? And we can't do that. We haven't been able to develop Jalen Terry as the point guard. Ayo Dosunmu, literally had a great coming out last year, and now he's nowhere to be found. He's not even in the rotation.
4 points, if that. And
yeah, he's got 4 points right now, but he's been out of the rotation. And if you're a coach that I literally said you're good with young guys, and now you're not even doing that, this team is literally up for disaster, and you've got to blow it up. And the time is now to start trading away these pieces. Like JC said, whoever gives me the best offer, yeah, great. The problem is you don't want to send them within the division, right? You don't want to send them to the Pistons. The Pistons are going to be really good in about a year or two. Really good. You look
Send
at
them to the Pistons.
Send them to the Pistons.
I don't care. Send them to the Pistons. You know, to me, again, there's not a single team that I will not trade with. Make me your offer, and I will trade Zach Lavine to you. Again, I owe you no favors.
Yeah.
With your attitude right now, I owe you nothing. Nothing. You are playing horribly. Nobody wants you. You know, I got more. Literally, I pull them in the office and literally be like, I got 9 teams calling for Caruso. You know how many teams I got calling for you?
Nothing. Or one.
One. So, again, your attitude, it's got to come down, and you got to be brought back down to earth.
Send them to the disaster that is the Clippers.
Oh yeah, that's a full team of names of people who want to go and get their career killed.
Yeah, that's all egos. Everybody goes there and your career dies if you go to the Clippers. It's sad. It's super sad. All right, we're done with the
Kyrie Irving ruined one of my parlays. I thought he was going to score over 22 points. He didn't even do that. 22 points. And the Mavericks scored 131 points that night. How do you not get over 22 points? And I would have won $95 on a $5 bet. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that because Serge, who kind of helps us out on the page here, he kind of originated the page. Literally won, was it $4,000 or something like that, or $9,000 yesterday on a $10 bet. So, Serge, fuck you.
Hey, Serge, I like to party. Do you want to,
Every time he sends me stuff, it doesn't hit. So I'm like, either I'm cursed or you're sending me all these bad bets and keeping the good ones for yourself. So, all right, let's switch over really quickly to the Blackhawks. Losing 4 straight, and if you look at the last 4 games they lost, they just lost to the Sabres 3-2, the Predators 4-2, the Lightning 4-2, and the Panthers 3-4. So they're in the game, they're in the ballpark, and again, it's a lot of young talent. This guy, he switched his hat. A lot of young talent, but not enough to win right now. Again, this is a young team. With Connor Bedard and company, you're not going to get a lot of press. You're not going to get a lot of push. I think this is a great team to support, but at the time, I don't see them doing anything to be good. And that's fine with me. If they end up at the bottom again and then get the number 1 pick and then pick someone to be alongside Connor Bedard, now you have your Kane and Taves again, 2.0. Run that. And it's time, jump in and get your season tickets.
Go ahead, JC.
Yeah, agreed. Again, I think, Bernard is a great piece, but, we still got a lot more that needs to be surrounding him, for the whole team to be ready to go back towards a Stanley Cup. Kane and Taves were always great, but, then you had Keith and Shaw and Sharp and all these other defensemen. Then you bring in Hossa. So, again, there's a plethora of names there that on those championship teams. Bufflin, was such an important part of the team. The one thing I will say is every clip I've been seeing recently is like all these NHL vets, they're picking on Bedard a little bit and slamming him into the boards. And you're seeing the team come and defend him, and Bedard's not shying away from it either. He's an 18-year-old kid, playing against, men. He's got a lot of growing up to do still. And like I said, he's been performing extremely well for the Blackhawks. But like I said, it's going to take some time, again, to me, his performances have been great. But again, you got 30-year-old men, slamming you in the boards, trying to, get you in the wrong headspace, trying to psych you out. And like I said, he seems to be calm, cool, and collected. So, that's, to me, that is a great thing to see out of him so far.
Yeah, I completely agree. What I have, I get the notifications. They're like, oh, it's Blackhawks time. And then it's like, damn, Blackhawks Twitter is funny. It's like, oh, we're losing 1-0, bad guys. And they're like, oh, we tied it. Oh, no, we're down 2-1 now. And, and that's how I keep up with it because I'm not able to watch all the games. So, but, it's an exciting team. I think that Chicago get right behind them and support them. Christmas break, let's find some tickets and go.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down to go. We talked about getting Bedard jerseys. I have a job now, so I could buy one. So
there you go.
But I also do respect the organization as a whole because I don't know, it was 4 days ago they did a post, and I think their social media, going off of what you said, does a really great job, right? This guy, Joe Fultman, I don't know if you saw their Instagram, was supposed to be to try out for the Blackhawks, got the notification, but instead he went to go serve our country, and he never got the opportunity to be a Blackhawk. And they celebrated him, gave him a jersey and a number, and he was walking in with the team. Like, they posted about them all in the suits. He got choked up. He's an older guy, and it's just like, you feel for the guy because that's what his dream was. He wanted to be a Blackhawk, and they celebrated him. I thought that was really special and cool. Got to meet the whole team, and then when they're coming out of the ice, he was like fist bumping them. That's a lot of class, I think, for the Blackhawks, and they don't get enough credit for that. Again, their social media is on point. But it is a fun team. It is a great time. They play a lot of emo rock music and stuff like that I love.
That's so your guy is Ellie over there.
So and rock and roll in that building because I'm rocking in the madhouse. So I think we should go. I think it'd be a great time. Win or lose, it's always fun there watching this team.
Yeah, definitely.
The baby Blackhawks, or some of them, but yeah. So I'm excited.
All right, let's wrap this up with the Chicago Cubs and the White Sox. Stevie-B, what's going on with the Cubbies?
Well, we have a chance to get Ohtani, and
so
it looks pretty good. But, oh, man, it's just – I don't want to get my hopes up. I want this. But, again, I don't want to break the bank for one player. There's more things that we need to fill. Spend money, spend. I'm all for it, but I'm pretty happy where we're going in this direction, or at least the Dodgers are first in the kind of contention where he might go as second of the Cubs. I mean, if that happens and he's a Cub, I mean, we stole Craig Counsell, right? So if we steal Ohtani from the Dodgers, that's like a sundae and a cherry on top, because you are a Dodgers fan as well and a White Sox fan. So, and you love baseball, but it's just sticking it to you, Yeah.
JC?
I sent you guys in the group chat that if Ohtani comes, I'm going to be roster baiting. So shout out to the league for making that a thing. But
right.
You see that guy in the lineup, and yeah, it's a spank bank session.
Right, the pitchers are shaking.
I can't wait to clip
like I said,
that.
if you're going to break the bank, I mean, do it on a guy who's a amazing pitcher and DHs on his days off. Again, I was having a conversation with a coworker the other day about, I'm still not over the fact that, the Cubs now have a DH position. We're still kind of used to pitchers hitting for the Cubs for so many years. But like I said,
Carlos Zambrano, baby.
Former guest.
Arrieta hit pretty well for a pitcher as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, if there's a guy you break the bank for, and again, I know he's got the Tommy John surgery, and it might be a year and a half. Who knows if he's the same pitcher ever again? There's always risks. But if you're going to break the bank on somebody, it's a left-handed hitter in Wrigley that can fill that DH spot on his days off and possibly go out there and be your number one ace.
Right.
Like I said, to me, you gotta, if you're the Cubs, you have to at least put your best foot forward.
Right.
Come with a strong offer. Like I said, if not, then hey, you know what? We're gonna go check in with Bellinger. We're gonna go check in
Pete Alonso
with some of these other guys.
I don't want Soto. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You need a third baseman.
I just feel like he wouldn't be productive, and I get this gut feeling. I don't know why.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of him, either. I wouldn't want him on my team or any. I don't know. I wouldn't want him, but yeah, definitely. You check in with the Panda Bear, Peter Alonso, and you check in with Bellinger if you do not get Ohtani. And right now, Ohtani sweepstakes. It is the Cubs and the Dodgers, as reported as a former guest Mike Rodriguez did on Twitter. And right now, Max Scherzer has thrown his hat in for the Rangers and trying to talk to Ohtani now too. So hopefully that does not happen, because I do not want the rich to get richer. I want get better competition in baseball. I don't want it to be one-sided, because that's just going to be a boring season.
Right.
As far, again, go ahead.
Who's the other Japanese pitcher that? Because I've been hearing rumor that we're possibly going after another Japanese pitcher that is going to be available this year, I believe, in the international.
That I don't know, but I do know that they signed Patrick Wisdom for a 1 year deal recently. So he's on a 1 year contract. I know he performed not as well as he usually does. He was injured, so I think giving him that 1 year extension doesn't hurt us, but helps us in, he's familiar. He's a good bat. He has great days. When it's summer, he's hitting homers. So I just think, keep what you got right now and then keep getting more while you can, while the good is good.
Yeah, the name is Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, like I said, if we could potentially get him, like I said, then, you got Suzuki, you have another Japanese player, possibly from the international market. Mm-hmm. Maybe that entices Ohtani, where, hey, I got a couple teammates that, same culture, same language,
all best friends,
camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, supposedly this international pitcher is
He's
supposed to be
a
pretty
stud. He's 25 in 7 seasons in Japan. He has posted a 1.82 ERA across 897 innings, with 922 strikeouts and a WHIP of 935. He has won what their equivalent is to the Cy Young 3 times already. Now I don't know what
That's pretty good.
I don't know what the competition in Japan is, but that's still pretty good to be one of the best in your league year after year after year. And now he's making the jump at 25. This kid is going to get paid, but I really think it's going to be the big market teams that are going to spend and put it, off. You look at the Yankees to be in the contention for having a bad year, and literally are going to be like, we're not going to suck like this ever again. So I expect the Yankees to land this pitcher.
They want Bellinger, and I don't want to let him go.
No,
I don't. And I like the Red Sox a lot. I'd rather him go to the Red Sox if he goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would too.
Oh man, winter meetings are what? Couple weeks away.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
About 15, 18 days away. So, Speaking of the winter meetings, there's a lot heating up with the White Sox and trade rumors. And one of the rumors is that Dylan Cease will be traded.
I saw that. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked the post that you shared.
Yeah, Chris Getz already said that there's no untouchables. So, guess who's first in line for Dylan Cease? It's the Dodgers.
Angels.
It's the Dodgers.
Oh.
The Dodgers have...
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers, yeah, the Dodgers. The Dodgers are not fucking around. They are going to go, like the Yankees, into the deep end of the pool and secure at least a playoff spot. They do have 5 great prospects in their system, and Dylan Cease is a really good pitcher. I don't think he's elite. I think he's a really good pitcher, but he's also got 2 years of control on his contract. So I think he's going to be very enticing. And there's a bunch of trade simulations and all that. There's 5 different trade packages I was looking at. And I'm not too familiar with the minor league names, so that I'm gonna have to do some research and get back to everybody next week on what the best package from the Dodgers would be. But if the Dodgers are going after Ohtani, and he can't pitch next year, so you're gonna need pitching because that's what did them in this year, and you pick up Cease, I mean that's a good start for them if they can get both. Now, if I was the Cubs, I'd be calling the White Sox as well. Hey. We can offer, you're in win mode now. Okay.
No,
so
I know you do. It's just I don't like touching anyone from the South Side, and that's me. But
it's so dirty.
It's so dirty.
It's like I don't want this bacteria mold coming into my house.
Yeah. Okay. The team as a whole sucks, but if you break down the pieces of what we have. Just like the Bulls, the pieces are great. It's just they can't fucking play together, and they have a horrible manager and a horrible organization.
Father like son. That's the thing.
That sounds like a great piece that I want on the Cubs.
I literally would say yes, but he was a Cub.
Yeah, he was.
He was the throw-in to the Eloy trade.
I don't want tainted, spoiled, rotten meat.
He's not tainted. He's not tainted. He was like the only person winning on the team. Yeah, I mean, would you?
He's got to shave the mustache if he comes to the Cubs.
No.
Yeah, you got to get rid of something here. That proves to me that you're winning here.
Those frat boys would love that shit up there. All the frat boys be growing out their mustache just like him.
No. We're classy. Fingers out.
You're a classy hoe.
Oh man, fine. If he comes, fine. Shave the mustache and we'll talk.
Oh no, he's not shaving that mustache. That's a staple, man.
Imagine if he did, and that was one of the things. That'd be hilarious.
Well, once he grew the mustache, that slider became filthy. So I would not change it. All right, we're done with baseball. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll wrap up the rest of the episode with Stirring the Pot and What You Watching. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Thanks, Martin. Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z in the house. We got Stevie-B from the No Water on the Weekend podcast and JC Howard. All right, Stevie-B and JC, you know what time it is.
It's stirring the pot time.
That's right. It is time for Stirring the Pot. All right. And I've been actually cheating on this one. I've been eating popcorn as I didn't get to have a dinner, but my Stirring the Pot this week is popcorn. And I picked this up from the kids. They were fundraising, and they always hit up the teachers, and I'm a sucker, so I do buy their stuff. So my question for you for Stirring the Pot: flavored popcorn. Is that a yay or a nay? And if it's a yay, what is the best flavor for popcorn? Stevie-B.
You know what? I'm a classic man. I'm going to say strictly with butter. I mean, I've had the Garrett's 3 thing.
Yeah.
The
Chicago mix.
Right. It's great. It's delicious, but I think Garrett's just original. Add a little bit of salt, and it's great. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was at Regal Theater, and I'll tell you what I was watching at Regal Theater when we get to that segment. They have Cheeto popcorn there. And I think that's I love hot Cheetos. I like Cheetos, but I would never want to. I don't know. I don't think I would put them on my popcorn.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, you've had it?
Yeah, well, the kids come in with all types of different types of chips, and anything that has hot flaming on it, they've had. I've even had.
They put their hands in and they mix it in general. Then you eat whatever.
No.
Their hands are in.
No.
And then it's that's why you get sick.
No.
That good old Taki dust.
Yeah, Taki dust. They're like Taki dust. No,
that takes a lot of courage to do that.
All that crystals in there. What I did have, even the weirdest thing is beef jerky, hot flaming beef jerky. I've even tried that.
That's not weird. That's delicious. I would try that.
It was.
I'm a sucker for jerky.
Yeah, I love jerky. I like venison jerky probably the most.
JC, do you like jerky? You seem like you like jerky.
Archer's beef jerky sticks. I do like. I've been trying. What was it? Duke's beef jerky. It's more like a sausage. But Duke's it has no flavor to it at all. So I need something with a little spice, a little pepper. Something to give me a little kick when I'm having it.
Right. It's a great road trip food too.
Oh yeah, I did a road trip to Tennessee. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? Stopped in a gas station. They had some beef jerky that had jalapenos and cheddar in it.
Oh yeah, some flavor.
Hell yeah.
JC, what's your popcorn flavor?
The best part is when you smell your fingers, they have the jerky smell later, and then your breath smells like jerky. Classic. It's great. Make sure you have some gum with you and some hand sanitizer afterwards.
Jesus.
And don't touch your eye, because I've done that.
I haven't checked it out yet, but there's a exotic snack place right across the street from where I live, off Lawrence, and I've been seeing it on Instagram and stuff of they're advertising weird snacks from Japan and wherever, and like I said, it's literally 4 blocks for me, and I'm I keep saying I'm gonna go check it out. I haven't done it yet.
Okay, you got a week. Next week, you got to grab something there and try.
Report back.
I'll stop in. But also, I got a buddy that used to work for Garrett's Popcorn, my brother's best friend. Shout out to him.
Do you need sponsors, or how's that work?
Well, he doesn't work for Garrett's anymore, unfortunately.
Oh.
But oh my god, I mean, like around Christmas time, dude, he would show up with like peppermint popcorn and like jalapeno popcorn.
Yeah.
Like it was always something, like, you know, because Garrett's, they do like a testing lab.
Yeah.
So they're constantly trying different flavors and different whatever. So he would show up with like these little, you know, snack bags, and he'd be like, oh, this one's peppermint, this one's, you know, whatever. But I gotta be honest with you, like a classic caramel with a chocolate drizzle. You know, Costco carries something called Zebra Pop.
And I've seen those. Yeah.
You know, like I'll eat a handful maybe, and like, but it's something with the chocolate and the caramel where it's just like it hits that sweet tooth, you know, just maybe a handful. And like I said, it's good enough for me.
I'd go more than a handful. I'd probably dig into that tin. I'd be halfway done. I love popcorn.
For me, I do like you know, a little spice in my popcorn. So I did order the double good in queso fire. So in case of fire. So I thought it was a cool name, and it's actually really good. I do like some spicy popcorn. But if I had to go to a go-to, it is the Chicago mix. And you know, you can't go wrong with Garrett's. I even tried the strawberry one time in the AV period. Had a strawberry flavor. That was pretty good. But hey, man, popcorn is popcorn. Even if you have it, you know, out of the microwave, I think it's just fine with, you know, a little bit of salt, little pepper, and some butter.
Or you put Valentine in there too?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yep, Valentina or what's the other one? Tapatio. Yeah, either one works for me.
That too.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, Holmes.
Hey, let's go see the Doyers after this, eh?
Hey, yeah, get a Doyer dog.
White Sox. Go White Sox.
All right, before we get out of here, what you watching? What you looking at that isn't sports? JC, start off.
I went back and started watching Citadel, which was like an Amazon show. Also went back and watched a little bit of the Terminal List. You know, kind of just going back and watching some shows that, you know, I didn't fully watch or pay 100% attention to the first time around.
Gotcha.
Like I'm renowned for that. Like I'll turn something on, and then all of a sudden I'll be on my cell phone doing, you know, Twitter, whatever, reading about the Bears or the Bulls, or, you know, and next thing I know, I'll be like, what the hell's going on? And it's episode's over, and then I'm sitting there like, oh, all right.
Yeah, usually I put on The Sopranos or Sons of Anarchy when I don't want to pay attention, but I kind of have something on. I'll do that. But if I need to pay attention, I put the phone on Do Not Disturb, and I'm like, nope, I got to pay attention to this. Anything else, JC, before we move on?
I'm one of those people, like I said, if it doesn't catch my attention within like the first 15, 20 minutes, you know, it's one of those where it's like I usually end up having to go back and rewatch season 2 of Loki. I'll be honest with you, like it was definitely one of those background shows where it's like, wait, what's going on? All right, I'm gonna have to sit down and, like you said, put the phone on airplane mode and like actually pay attention to like what the hell's going on.
Yeah, Loki's one of the shows you really have to pay attention, look for all the Easter eggs, and then go on YouTube as soon as you finish that episode and go and try to deconstruct that whole episode, because you miss so much. And when it comes to Marvel shows, they're so detailed. Well, the good ones, the good shows and the good movies. So I completely agree with you. Stevie-B, what you got?
So I saw the Marvels movie on Wednesday, and if you don't know about the Marvels, it is Kamala Khan, it is Captain Rambeau, and Brie Larson, who is Captain Marvel. You have 3 female roles. It's getting a lot of slack, getting a lot of hate. I saw it. Mm-hmm. It's not that bad.
Wow, but it's not that bad, which means I can wait for another 3 weeks till it joins Disney Plus.
No. I could say I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I would, if you go see it, it's great. It's fun. Kamala Khan, who is her family's in it, and it's just great. I just thought she's funny. She's a little bit more playful. You know, Captain Rambeau, you kind of get the why they kind of didn't really want to talk to each other. You kind of saw her talk or mention it about in WandaVision, and then they finally confront each other. And then I get there's some scenes where it's like a little cheesy, but then it kind of like the one scene of whatever, they're in outer space or a different planet, but it's like you also have weird stuff that goes on in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I mean, I just thought it was a fun overall movie. There's two post-credit scenes, but there's one that's right after it ends. There's a scene, and then there's a post-credit scene, but there's nothing after all the credits. Just letting you know, after 14 or 13 years, they should just write it on there. There's nothing else on, because I don't want to sit there.
I usually ask the employees. I'm like, hey, when are the post credits? And they
if
usually.
I was an employee, I'd be like, you gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was great, so go check that out. And then on Peacock, that just came out on Friday, Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain. That's on Peacock. The writers of Saturday Night Live, and a lot of them made this movie. They're like in their late 20s, so 26 years old. Hilarious. Watched it last night with Paige, my assistant, and and yeah, no, it was great. We laughed the whole time.
Okay.
It's like that stupid kind of dumb movie, but it's just the writing is fantastic. You have John Goodman narrating the thing.
Oh.
You have also Conan O'Brien as a main dad in this thing, and you have a lot of other people in this in this movie. So overall, it's hilarious. It's something like if you were in your late 20s and you're like almost 30 like me, that that you could relate on life and stuff like that. But that was really good. So check those out. Jose?
Awesome. I actually watched Blue Beetle on HBO Max.
Boo, I saw that.
I actually thought it was decent. I thought it was decent. There's a lot of cheesiness at the beginning, but it does, you do become invested in the characters. You do have a good storyline. You're bringing in new actors and actresses. I think they did a very good job with the Blue Beetle. I did like their choice as their actor for Blue Beetle. They were pretty true to the comic. From what I saw on YouTube. I mean, I really did enjoy it. I think that this is why they're bringing him back in future projects with James Gunn, because one, it wasn't fair to him that the strike was going on and they couldn't promote the movie. But I thought one thing I did not like was George Lopez in the movie. I think he's overrated. I think he's
same. He
corny as fuck.
Latinos or Latinas
he's like the Latino butt of the joke kind of person. Like, dude, like 20 years ago, yeah, you were funny and relevant. Now you're not. That could have gone to an up and coming comic. That if you want to go with a Latino comic, great. It could have been a black comic. It could have been anybody. I don't give a shit.
Martin.
It could have been Martin. Martin would have fucking killed it, or Fluffy. Either one would have killed it. It's just as simple as that. It's just sometimes they want to attach a big name to a project, and they want to be quick. But Marvel does not pay well at the beginning. Once you're first starting, you're not paying
I agree
well.
with you. I really think George Lopez was the big name of the movie, kind of the draw, if you will. But I mean, is it Zolo or I forget how you pronounce the kid's name?
Yeah.
But like I watch Cobra Kai. I'm sorry, he's just, to me, he's not that great of an actor. Like it's, I know they gave him a shot, but it's one of those like I got to be honest with you, another one of those, like I tuned it out. Mm-hmm. I put it on and, 30 minutes in, I'm like, wait, what's going on? And like I said, just didn't hold my attention. The Miss Marvels or whatever, same thing. I turned it on and passed out, woke up like 30 minutes later and watching Brie Larson switch powers with the other one. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, they're transporting and like, I was just like, I don't get it. I don't like. I got to go back and rewatch it, and But again, I'll watch Panderverse, South Park, and
right.
Basically, it'll tell me what Miss Marvel's all about.
I related more to the Marvels than I did with Blue Beetle.
But
That's because you were in
again,
outer
to me,
space.
It's one of those where I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and they released the trailer for Miss Webb,
Madam Web.
Madam Web,
Mhm.
and to me, like, I'm way more interested in that because growing up, I was a huge Spider-Man nerd. I've got comics. I mean, I could pull them out. I mean, I've got probably 100 Spider-Man comics laying around.
Oh, you want a competition, huh? I'm just kidding.
You
I
want
absolutely
to?
do. Yeah, I do. Want to swap comics? We could do that too.
You know, here
I
comes a comic
I got
podcast.
some signed, Spider-Man comics and laying around or whatever. But to me, like, again, I was a huge, like, to me, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was the Spider-Man that I grew up with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with Gwen.
But his storyline, to me, like, I was super excited to see where the third movie was going to go, because again, I grew up reading that particular comic book.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I already know where this is going, and like I said, when they only made it 2 movies and they moved on to Tom Holland, I was like, well, shit.
No, I get you. And also, JC, maybe you're a fan of Sydney Sweeney and Madam Web. So, I don't blame you.
Did you go watch Letterkenny yet, or Shoresy?
I've seen the one on HBO Max, whatever, the one with all the drugs and teenagers that no high school was like that. Definitely wasn't mine, apparently. But no, I have not seen that, and I'll definitely check those out. I got to write them down.
Yeah. I got to write down your comedy that you mentioned on Peacock, and like I said, Letterkenny and Shoresy, like I said, Canadian comedy shows. Like I said, you'll be very impressed with some of the female talent that they have on that show.
You said that last week, and I forgot. I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I do have to check that out.
But like I said, like the Miss Webb, it's like I said, I grew up a Spider-Man fan, so you're starting to get into, like I said, there's a Ben Parker,
Right.
So like I said, to see the, and again, maybe it's the quote unquote multiverse version, but as we all know, like in the real Spider-Man, Ben Parker is the real Peter Parker, and Peter Parker is a clone, and that's where the Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was heading,
Right.
Which would have led to
But
the
we don't know
maximum...
that's canceled because he can still get a third movie.
Well, and that's, again, Secret Wars could bring in a whole, new thing.
Right. Toby's supposed to be the leader of that one with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, apparently.
Yep.
And give him that goodbye kind of handshake. Thanks for your service. But Toby's always my dude. He's been my hero. But I did like Andrew.
Yeah, and like I said, growing up a Spider-Man fan, the Maximum Clonage series was a huge one for me. And I would have loved to have seen that, where basically it's just Jackal and Spider-Man and like clones everywhere of Peter Parker, that, there's like 100-something clones, and it just gets weird and dark.
That was Felicia Hardy's dad, correct?
No, so actually what it is, it's Jackal was a scientist,
Right.
that was in
TV
love
show.
with Gwen Stacy.
Gotcha. Yep.
And when Gwen Stacy was murdered, essentially he cloned her from her DNA and brought her back to life. But in the meanwhile, he had an accident in which he turned basically into a green-looking goblin,
Right.
Called the Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
The more you know.
yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
read more
nerd over
Marvel
here.
than DC, Jose. There's more than just,
Batman
DC.
comics. That's all I
Of
have.
course. There's going to be a thing on Amazon Prime with the little Batman Christmas that I posted that's going to be coming out December 11th. So
Amazing.
I'm excited about that. You probably saw it but skipped over it. So I don't blame you. Yeah.
All right, we've got 90 minutes in. I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, sure. Close this out.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Thanks for today. Thanks for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at the checkout for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Get your shirts now. Check out Stevie-B's show. It's called No Water on the Weekend with Sean as his co-host, Sexy Sean. That's what we're going to call him now, Sexy Sean. And it's a pop culture forward podcast that dabbles in funny, trivial, film, television, music, and Chicago-centric news and happenings. New episodes Monday-ish, probably Tuesday.
It's usually end of Monday. I got the notification at around 4 o'clock. So
go with Tuesdays. Just go with Tuesdays.
I'm just gonna, it's late Monday, but you get it on Monday if you're a night owl like us.
That's the problem.
That's the thing. So yeah.
All
Check
right.
it out. It's fun.
It is
this
a fun
week
podcast.
It's a little bit short. There's no guest.
What?
But it's just me and Sean, and that's it.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You guys are funny. Shout out to Ronesh Panic, Serious Beats, and Custom Made for the beats we played on the audio version of today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for your moment merch and gear. Check us out on social media, TCSF Pod on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. You can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Sports, and on Instagram you can find us. You can find JC Howard on X. Where can they find you, JC?
On X, Twitter, I still say Twitter. But at JC Dynasty FF. So Dynasty Fantasy Football. And just put the JC in front of Dynasty FF.
Stevie-B, where can they find you and the pod?
Yeah, it's No War on the Weekend, but weekend is spelled WKND on Instagram and also on TikTok. I switched it over and put it No War on the Weekend podcast, so you could check us out on there.
There you go. All right, for Stevie-B and JC Howard, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next time for episode 171. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.
A few moments later.
Wait, the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were.
This is not how we wanted it to go. You almost can't even make it up. It's that bad.
Oh, my goodness! Didn't see that coming! What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
You have a lot of incest.
That's real. Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos! That's all. I shouldn't have had those artichoke poppers.
Thanks, Cubs!